Everybody, welcome back to Buddy Pass Podcast, episode 17. 17 full episodes now. It's been a journey, boys. What have you guys been up to? It's been a little bit since we talked. Are we okay? Do we need a minute to think about it?
Say something.
I thought he was gonna full on cry. I hit a nerve. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you asked how are you, and I just bawled.
You know what, man? It's tough out here, man.
Dude.
The weather's nice today, though.
Beautiful fucking
Dude,
day.
I woke up. So my 8:30 class this morning got canceled, so alarms were off. Woke up at like 12:30.
Oh my God.
Opened my phone. It said it was 73 degrees. I was like, holy shit! Didn't it like just snow? Like
It's
last weekend.
Isn't that weird?
Like-
It snowed on like Friday, Saturday.
Mhm.
Yeah. Dude,
You know that got me
it's fucking
thinking though,
crazy.
because people are always like, oh, like New England weather and all that stuff, and like 70 is like beautiful here, and then people are just like somehow still bitching about it.
Yeah.
And I was thinking like, dude, I honestly think that people like in Alaska would legitimately murder their entire families to see one day at 40 degrees.
Yeah.
There are
We should
some
appreciate it.
there are some parts of Alaska where based on like the Earth's rotation or whatever, they'll go like a week without sun.
No,
Yeah.
it's 2 months.
Something,
Okay.
yeah.
I think
A little
it's
bit more,
January and
but yeah.
February. They get 2 months of straight up no sun. But then there's also a time where they get like, I think it's that same amount of time where it's like
Yeah, there's no darkness.
all like no darkness, all
That's
like 24
weird.
hours, which
That's
is wild.
weird.
Yeah.
The geologists are here for everyone listening.
Aren't those
They're the
rock
meter-
people?
No, I think that's shape people.
Gotcha.
Or meteorologists? No, that's meteors.
Yeah,
That's-
they
those-
study Mars.
I took them Xannies on Earth. I woke up right there on Mars. It's buddy
I don't-
you.
I don't even know where I am anymore.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to be funny because you guys were talking about
Are you-
geology,
Uh-huh.
geography, and meteorology
Yeah.
And geometry.
and geometry.
Mhm.
And I was trying to I was gonna talk about what had been going on, and
Your
you
IQ
asked
isn't high enough.
you asked again, Raph, and I just
His
there's-
brain was still on geology.
there is no brain power in this Zoom call right now.
Was
Nothing.
it something I said?
It was geology.
It's everything the both of you just said. I'm just floored. I don't know what to say. I don't know where I am. I don't know what's going. I'm completely disoriented.
Can I defend
now.
myself?
I'm not blaming. I'm not like trashing
I'll
you.
defend myself because you're blaming me.
I'm
100%.
not okay. It makes
So
me
I'm
feel
at Dunks today. I went to
Same.
the grocery store, everything. Obviously, you guys know how I am. They call me boss man. Nothing new around these parts. And I pull up to the window and they're like, why are you here so late? I was like, stop grilling me. And then I'm like, obviously, like everyone knows on this podcast that listens, I'm a cold brew guy. It's way different. If it was an iced coffee, they'd be called the same thing. And they had no more. All they had was iced coffee. And it just, I don't know. Even before we hit record, I had to hype myself up for this. I'm not feeling right now. I'm
You were
feeling
all
different.
out of cold brew?
All out of it. I don't know if they got robbed. Did it make enough? Maybe
I mean, the only person that would rob their cold brew is you. So
It's-
no, not theirs.
Yeah.
I would rob Starbucks so people wouldn't go to Starbucks and would go to Dunks, but I would never rob Dunkin' Donuts ever.
So why would you funnel competition to your dunks?
What do you mean? I want if I eat, my boys
he's
eat.
getting Dunks more money.
Yeah. If I eat, my boys eat.
But if you steal all of Starbucks cold brew, then
Mhm.
you're sending everyone to Dunks to get cold brew. And
Mhm.
if you end up going late in the day again, like you did
Mhm.
today, they're going to be out because
They're stealing your product.
they're buying up all your product.
It's like how the
Yes.
Grinch stole Christmas.
Not even close.
Yeah,
but,
from the Who's.
You see,
The what?
you see, you're completely right, but you want to know what? I'll take one for the fucking team.
You know,
As a leader of this franchise, I have to make sacrifices as well.
You know what you should do? You should invest. You should buy stock in Dunkin' Donuts. Because
my buddy's
have
invested in Dunkin'.
when my dad when I was a little kid, when I was born, my dad bought me, I think it was 2 shares of Disney stock. To this day, I still have it. And every time they have like a quarterly Zoom call or like a
Mhm.
annually Zoom call, and all the investors are invited to it. Usually they do like a big convention thing and you can go even if you have one share. So I have a Zoom link for the Disney stock to like go onto this Zoom and vote for different things that I want or don't want. You should buy Dunk's shares so that you can go and make your voice heard.
Or once this podcast makes us millions of dollars and we get our own drink and or other accessories, I'll just buy the whole franchise, or I'll buy that one Dunks. It's way easier.
Okay.
I think buying the whole franchise would be like billions of dollars.
Yeah, for someone that has no fat pockets full of Bano Guapos like I
Oh
do.
my god.
I can't wait to be rich. I'm so excited.
Oh, what's going on?
Subscribe to the YouTube. All right, you guys want to get into the hot seat teams from last week?
Yeah.
Get into the hockey talk. I think we killed enough brain cells of the listeners. Let's try to
I
reel
don't have
them
any
back in.
left, but yeah, let's go.
Lit. Who wants to start?
I'll go first.
Yeah, you go first.
So mine actually did pretty good for the first time ever. And it's probably because I picked a sick team rather than a shitty team.
I don't know. Even the sick teams you picked struggle.
Yeah,
It's
no,
the Tibbetts
no,
curse.
you're right.
It's the
You're
Tibbetts
right.
curse.
Like I
Yes.
think like there was a week I picked the Avs and they went like 2-0-2 or something. It's like what? But so I picked Florida this week after a pretty good trade deadline and everything. Rolled with them. And they went 3-0-1.
Nice.
Which is great. They beat the Stars once, the Blue Jackets once, and then 1-0-1 against Tampa, the OT loss. And then I forget what the score of the regulation win was against Tampa. But yeah, 3-0-1. Pretty good week for that team. Definitely an exciting team. Gonna make the playoffs. So proud of them.
Sam Bennett, a little how are you the other night?
Yeah.
Yep. We'll smell you later. Brandon Montour, the guy.
Ralph, what about you?
My team did very mediocre, 2-2 for the Capitals. The night that we recorded, so the episode hadn't dropped yet, is when they spanked the Bruins like 8-1. And then next time they met the Bruins said, "How are you? Smell you later." And they dropped a game to Buffalo as well.
Yikes.
That's tough.
5-2. But dude, like
Embarrassing.
I'm not defending myself at all. I really don't like the Caps.
Yeah.
But Buffalo has a little bit of like,
Dude,
they're a little. They have nothing to lose.
I was gonna say sometimes it's scary playing that one team that has nothing to lose.
That's
'cause,
why you
makes
don't
sense.
fight the kid that has nothing
Yeah.
to lose. You don't
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
He will stab you. He'll do anything to win.
Literally, dude.
Wait, are we doing players after? Can I just say my player real quick?
You can talk about your player now.
Say-
I wasn't
I-
gonna talk about my
so
player. He
I
did
did-
shit.
I did Capitals because of Anthony Mantha.
That's right.
That was
yeah.
their deadline accusation. Accusation. They have
Ac-
5 points.
Acquisition. Acquisition, not accusation.
It's
So I
you
had
had
it
it right
right?
the first time. Yeah, acquisition.
Cut that out. Greg, can you cut
Sorry,
that out?
Omar.
Greg, can you cut that out? Thanks, boss. Yeah, he had 5 points in 4 games, 4 goals, Apple, but he's a -1. I don't really. I mean,
Okay,
what do you want?
Ovechkin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, he had a lot of power play points. I'm pretty sure too. I think 3 or 2 of those were power play points, but so they don't count as a plus. But still, like,
Fuck plus
I don't know.
minus.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not the worst. I always think I still don't
Yeah.
think it's an awful stat. It's definitely not the best one out there.
When
but-
the way I look at it is when you look at it over a stretch of like lots of games, like close to a whole season, like a whole season, and it's like
Yeah.
to an extreme, like way down in the minuses or way up,
Yeah.
then like it's a good idea. But when you're just looking at like a few games and it's like -1,
Yeah.
+1, it's like whatever.
it doesn't
Yeah, I
hurt to
don't- I
have, but
don't-
it should
yeah.
be something you justify a player with.
Nah,
You see what I'm
nah.
saying? Now, at
Yeah.
least nowadays, because we have all those
Yeah.
advanced analytics.
Expected goals.
Who expects them? I still don't know who expects them. How do you expect goals in the future? That's a topic for another day. AIDS. What about your
Yeah.
team?
Jesus. So I had the Bruins who Rolled.
Yup.
Bruins
Yeah.
4-0. First time
Yeah.
one of my teams has gone undefeated. Taylor Hall, 2 goals and an assist.
Playing great hockey.
Mike Riley has like 2 or 3 assists.
Underrated.
Curtis Lazar has a goal, makes that
Empty netter,
fourth line.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, it was a wicked
What?
wrester. Curtis Lazar.
His goal was an empty netter.
Oh, I know.
Nice.
Shh, they
Yeah.
don't ask how
Hey,
that's coming.
Goal's a goal. Goal's a goal.
True.
As a Bruins fan, could not be happier with the way
Mhm.
they're going right now.
Mm-hmm.
Could not. They
Yeah.
have 2 games in hand on the top 3 teams in the East. They're just a few points behind the Penguins now. I- Dude, do not let the Bruins get hot rolling into the playoffs here.
This is the time you want to get hot too. I think there's only 13. No,
They
Bruins have
have
13.
they have 13 left.
But that's way one
Um,
of the more amount of games in the league though, because they're behind
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
teams.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But talking about games in hand too, you said the team's ahead of them, but they also have 2 on the Rangers who are right on their tail,
yeah.
but have 2 games in hand on them, so they're
7 games are Buffalo.
they're pretty
right?
safe unless the Rangers go like undefeated. But
So
they're
that's
they're buzzing right now.
which
though.
yeah, I mean they're great and it's going to be close, but I think they're safe. I think they'll be okay.
well. The other
keep
thing
this up.
to note is I think they were talking about it in one of the other Nesson casts shows a couple days ago.
Charlie Moore outdoors.
Fucking hate that show.
Fuck you.
Or what's the other one? Like the someone's dining playbook. That one too.
Oh,
with the-
diners,
yeah,
diners,
yeah.
drive-ins, and dives.
no,
No.
not no. Right
Oh.
idea, but
Oh, I was
You're
okay.
close. You're close.
I think it's like 6 of their next 8, or maybe now it's 5 of their next 7 games are against the Sabres. They play
Yeah.
them
Yeah.
3 in a row this coming week.
Yeah,
Mhm.
That's huge.
you need a sweep, dude. You can
Yeah.
only drop one of those max. I'm sorry, and it
Huge.
won't be.
Out of the
It won't
5,
be
yeah,
easy
dude.
too. Playing a same team like that back to back. I
No.
don't care. I don't care how bad they are. I really don't care how bad they are.
My dad absolutely called that. I have no idea if he listens to this.
The
He
fuck?
absolutely called that. Like right before the trade deadline, he kept saying like they're gonna get hot. They're gonna get hot, and they're gonna play heartbreaker, just like the Sens have
Steal
done,
points. Yeah.
just like the Red Wings have done. And they're not
Yeah.
rolling, but they got to be above 500 in their last 5 or 6 games.
Oh,
Yeah.
easily.
I mean, right when that like 18-game losing streak broke, I think they were like 4-0-2 or something,
Yeah,
and then they won like a couple more after that. They were like 6-2 and so I don't know. So I mean, yeah, they're rolling. Scary.
yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a league where anyone can beat anybody, really. I mean, the Red Wings in that division have beaten the Lightning once or twice, the Canes once or twice.
Carolina.
Yeah, so never know. Which actually, Red Wings aren't in last anymore in that Central Division. The
it's the
Blue Jackets
Jackets.
dropped below them the
Yeah.
other night.
And they're only like
Awful. Dude.
they're like closer to the bottom 10 in the league, dude. Like
Yeah.
not like legit bottom floor. They're
Dude.
kind of on the stairs of the basement, but
I forget the exact record, but they're like 2-12-2 or something. The Blue Jackets in their last like 16.
yeah,
I saved it the exact record. I want to say it was like 2-16-2, but I don't
sounds
think
right
it was.
though.
It does. sound
Maybe
right.
maybe it was that bad, dude.
Which
I was
is
like, holy
so-
fuck.
So
Oh,
sad.
2-11-2 in their last 15.
Still though,
So
not
still
much better.
fucking awful.
I saw a thing that said I think it's tonight, second straight game. Max Domi is scratched. They announced last week or so. Werenski's out for the season with a hernia. This is kind of the season that I
Brutal
expected
situation.
out of the Blue Jackets. I think they had a lot of success for, I don't know, maybe 60-70% of the year. But this last little stretch here is kind of what I expected in terms of their play, which sucks. Just seeing that, the lineup they have with Line A
I
and
know.
giving away Pierre-Luc Dubois and stuff like that. But it's interesting.
Do you guys want to get onto the segments now? Because we got a little bit of things
Yeah.
to talk about. I think we should start with Patty Marleau. The boys here at Buddy Pass Podcast, because we know you're listening, Patty, want to congratulate you on breaking Gordie Howe's record for the most games ever played in the NHL history. But that leads me into saying, what the fuck is going on online? A very small minority, don't get me wrong. What are these old white people saying?
They're out of their mind, dude.
They are.
If you don't think he belongs in the Hall of
Can I
Fame,
read
you're
a
fucking
tweet?
Crazy. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I read a tweet? So this dude, Steve Simmons, never heard of him. Biggest clown I've ever seen. So
Is he
wanna
like verified? Is he just like a reporter or something?
Oh, he's verified. He's
Yeah.
for Toronto Sun. He's a sports columnist.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh, so he's a Toronto media guy.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
sucks.
classic.
suck me.
That's what they say about Boston media guys, though. But anyway, continue.
So he had an original tweet, but that sparked everything. It was basically showing like Lemieux all these guys and their Hart Trophy wins. And then under it, he goes, Marleau finished 9th in voting for the Hart once. And then some dudes were like, yo, what the fuck? And then he sends this tweet out. In my mind, Marleau was done 2 years ago. He's hung on through the help of the Sharks to get the record. I admire his career. I don't admire how he got to the end. And a lot of people under the age of 16 never saw how play. So I want to show the other side of this. You loser is what I have to say to you, Steven.
He's missing the point. Like,
Yes.
he's not as good as Howe was. He's not as good as Lemieux. He's not as good as, like, we're not saying that.
Yes.
By saying you belong in the Hall of Fame, that doesn't mean you're fucking Wayne Gretzky. That's not what that means at all. Like,
Yeah.
he's not, he never had a 100-point season. That doesn't matter. Like, he never put up a stupid amount of points like that the way those guys did. But, like, it's a different type of greatness when you compare the greatness of a guy like Gretzky and the greatness of a guy like Marleau. I mean, dude, he missed, I think it's in 23 seasons in the NHL. He missed, I think, 30-something games.
That is that's
Bro,
like Nick Lidstrom
that's
shit.
insane. And he's currently, I think, like 41 right now. And his Ironman streak is at like 890.
Yeah.
In your upper 30s and since I think that goes back to 2010-ish, maybe he hasn't missed a game.
Yeah, he'd be like 31-ish.
Like, bro, that's insane. Most guys, I forget who it was, but I was watching a video on like Instagram or something of a player who's it was Manson, I think, Josh Manson on the Ducks. He said like how he's like approaching 30 years old, and he's like already starting to feel the toll that like playing in the NHL takes on his body. And fucking Marleau started this Ironman streak when he was 31 or so, and now
different
he's
styles, different positions, but still,
yeah, no, for sure. But like, it's just, dude, you just can't deny how amazing that is. Like,
legend.
It's laughable that people don't think he belongs in the Hall of Fame. I don't care what he did with point production, anything like that. He's a guy that everyone who's ever played with him loved it and respects him like crazy. Even the guys that have played against him. Yeah.
Aids, your thoughts?
Belongs.
Yeah. So going back to Steve Simmons of the Toronto Sun, does he forget that Patrick Marleau played 2 years, 82 game seasons with Toronto, tallying 84 points? You're going to tell me that a guy putting up 84 points is hanging on?
Thank you.
He scored 43 goals in 164 games with the Maple Leafs.
And that was,
I was gonna say, those seasons with the Leafs, he was like 37, maybe 38. Like that
4 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
282 season games in 2016, 2017, 2017, 2018.
So yeah, he was like 36, 37, maybe. Yeah.
Hanging
insane,
on.
Dude.
Hanging on. Going back to how many games he's missed, without taking into account the 2012-2013 season with the lockout, which he still played 48 games
was the full season.
Which is the full season.
Yeah.
He has not played under 74 games in a season.
That's legit ridiculous.
Again, subtracting the COVID season as well, which he played 58.
Which
again
could have
is
been
probably the maximum that he played. So keep that in mind. He has not played under 74 games in a full season. That's the least amount of games he's played. Hanging on.
Joke. Clown. It's just like the old heads, dude. Like, I don't know why people have this weird fear of records being broken. Like Ovechkin could beat Gretzky and the record would be broken and people will still have flashbacks.
People are still gonna be
and it's just like, dude, the records are meant to be broken. I honestly think I would hope that those people, like, Gordie Howe has passed us, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like 2 years ago too.
I was gonna say that sucks, and he would have been happy to see people break records and see the game getting better, and like the records are meant to be broken for that exact reason, as well as I did see this person comment under Steve agreeing with him, and they compared it to, I guess, I like Star Wars, but I don't know everything about it. And this person said like, that would be like how the person that wrote 11,000 columns for Star Wars, me passing them. And so what I would do if that was me is I would write 10,999 and I would stop writing the columns. they compared it to that, and I was like, man,
What a
that is
sad life you must live.
that is apples to oranges. You
What a
can't.
sad life.
The thing you said about like how records are meant to be broken, like I think it was in that same video I was watching with like Josh Manson in it that I mentioned earlier. It was like a montage of people, and Gordie Howe's son was one of the people like in it that said a few words, and he said like, he was obviously like I know my dad better than anyone, and I know for a fact if he was here today he would be the first person in line to shake Marleau's hand.
Is it Mark Howe?
I think it said Mike. Maybe it was Mark. It was Mike or Mark. Same thing. But like, and then I know Gretzky has said before too that like if Ovechkin breaks my record, I'll be the first person there to shake his hand. Like, if people don't understand the respect that these guys have for each other. Like,
and Gretzky also said he wants McDavid to be bigger than him in Edmonton. He wants him to win in
He's
Edmonton.
like, if McDavid ever does it, like I'll be right there. Like,
I had an interview.
I think the other thing to note is that this era of the NHL is so much harder to play in than the era that Gretzky and Howe played in. Like, I don't want to take away from either of those players because they're both absolute superstars, but
Legends.
It's also apples to oranges. To play 1,700, almost 1,800 games in this era of the NHL is completely different than playing 1,800 in the 60s. It's completely different.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Both are fucking insane.
Both are insane. I will never be able to play in either of them, and I don't want to take any disrespect.
I could have played in like 200 BC. I think that's what I would have been an all-star. Anything past that,
when they use like sticks and rocks and just like hit them.
If we don't have sandals with knives on them, I probably couldn't play.
Even then, I'd probably be fourth line, like praying for 10 minutes of ice time.
Roll guy, get it done though. But yeah, so I mean, now this leads me into saying, just to get your guys' votes, Patty Marleau, Hall of Famer now,
hands down. Yes.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement here. Gold medal, most games, over 500 goals, 1,200 points. I don't see how. There's plenty, and no cups, dude. Like that's what people say about him. Pat LaFontaine, Marcel Dion, Brad Park, all these all-stars that are in the Hall of Fame. Nick Lidstrom, more points than all those guys, than most of those guys too. So,
and it's not like his years on the Sharks, they were bottom 5 in the league, dude. They were making playoff runs pretty sure every single year he was there. Like,
they had the Stanley Cup final appearance.
They went to the final against Pittsburgh. They, I think they those years that the Kings dominated, they played the Kings in that first round a lot.
They choked though.
So they choked a few times, but like, hey, they were playing the dominant Kings, kind of got boned, whatever.
So Sidney Crosby, if you're listening to this, and Patty Marleau doesn't get into the Hall of Fame, it is strictly your fault.
Yeah. There's no. See, he broke.
He needs to. Though.
He broke one of the all-time NHL records. There's no way he doesn't get it. And it's not even like he's a bad player.
Yes, I don't know why people act like he's just a scrub.
He's
second overall pick, gold medal, dude. Are you serious?
He's 4 points away from 1,200 NHL points.
Yeah,
1,200
in like 1,768 games. That's close to one per game.
Yeah,
it's
he's
close.
50th right now on the points list all time. He's 50 right now.
Dude,
that's insanely impressive. You know how many players have played in the NHL, dude? Like 8,000.
Only 100 players or 90 something players have ever hit 1,000 points.
And another thing, that Stanley Cup run that he went on with the Sharks, he played all 24 games, had 13 points too. Yeah. He was a big contributor to that team.
And they act like he's a scrub. They act like he's the scrub.
I don't
respect,
dude. I was talking about it before we got on the pod here. I can't remember what the other argument we had was. It was the NHL season relegation thing. I was saying
later.
People, people not everyone on the internet should be entitled to an opinion. At least they should. Shot. It's ridiculous the type of shit that people put on. If you're going to say that Patrick Marleau does not belong in the Hall of Fame for playing the most NHL games of any player, of any 8,000 players that have ever played in the league, you do not deserve to speak on the internet.
In terms of like how impressive a record is to me, like obviously putting up like the most goals and most points of all time is probably the most impressive, but right there, dude. Most games played
It's up
is
there,
the
man.
most impressive, right up there with like putting up the most points.
I'd say like points,
I
goals,
mean-
apples, and then like wins as a goalie,
Yeah,
and then
and
maybe
like
my
games is
5.
right there, dude. Like
Yeah,
for
it's
me,
top 5.
I mean, that's I don't know. I don't know if people don't understand the like how healthy you have to be to do that for him. I mean, dude,
It's
insane.
something I've been thinking about more and more is like how set that record in the 60s. It's
Yeah.
been 50. Oh my God, no. It's been
Well,
60 years. No,
well,
Yeah.
didn't he play? Wait, because he played in how many decades was it technically?
I don't know. I thought
40s, 50s, 60s.
I
I
he
think
said
40s, 50s, 60s. So 3.
Rest in peace, my guy.
Maybe
But
he
no,
played
I'm
because he was born in 28. I know that. So he definitely didn't play in the 30s. He started in the 40s.
oh, I might be wrong.
And
I
obviously
might
And
be
in the
then
wrong.
60s,
With,
40s, 50s.
Don't-
I think he played because didn't he come back as like an old bag in like the 80s, like briefly?
Yeah,
Maybe he
he
crossed
did.
into the 70s or something.
He
Yeah.
did. He
We'll get a
came
fact
back.
check.
He came back until the 80s. Yes.
Yeah,
So my bad.
the
Wow.
Whaleys. with
Regardless,
the Whaleys.
regardless.
So yeah,
No-
still.
Nobody has touched that record in 40 years.
Yeah.
And something I keep thinking about and playing in my head is in our lifetime, I doubt we see a player break that.
Not
the
in
rest
our
of our
lifetime.
the rest of our lifetime.
In my opinion, I don't think another player will break the all-time played.
I was thinking about this the other day. So the space between when House was like broken to Marlowe breaking it was like what we said, like around 60 years. If Marlowe's is going to be breaking also, I bet it's going to be a gap like that big again if somebody's
Yeah.
going to do it.
Because there'll be like
Whoever's
another
going to
big
do that is
revolution.
whoever's going to do that is not born yet. There's no shot.
Yeah,
No.
There'll be like another big like revolution in like the way sports are trained for and medicine,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
but it won't be anytime soon. I don't think so.
Yeah. See, like I talked about like how players aren't born yet. I think it's like 171 of the current NHLers weren't born when Marlowe was drafted,
Did you see the other stat
and the
of
37%
Of everyone, in
how
the
he has
history.
played against 37% of everyone who has ever played NHL from the start of this league. Dude.
That's insane.
That is
That's I don't think you can really wrap your head around that. He's
It was
played
like 3,000, I
Yeah.
think, or close
Grandpappy
to it.
Out of
Patty.
2,900.
out of 8,000
players.
total NHL players.
That's insane.
Trying to grapple that
That's
stat
like laughable.
is ridiculous. Like that alone, like, oh my God. People who say that he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, I don't get it. I don't what more other than a Stanley Cup, what
Yeah.
more do you want from him? What
That's what-
more could you
I just
ask?
feel like too there should be some player input on like Hall of Fame voting because I mean like these guys know.
Fair enough.
I mean maybe there could be some bias obviously if you really like the guy so you just toss him a yes or you hate him so you'd say a no but like I think I don't really know if like the leaders of like the NHLPA have a say or any vote into that column of Hall of Fame ballots but I mean at the same time though these players know these guys the best. Some
Yeah.
guy sitting on his couch eating Doritos, sipping popcorn, doesn't know him. You know, these guys see each other every day in and out, how they work, how hard they work. You know,
Well, he's up for the almost every year. He hasn't won it, but he's received votes for the Lady Bing every single year.
yeah.
He's
Almost
never
every
won
year.
it.
He's never won. That's what I was checking right
I
now.
hope he wins
Weird
it this
award.
year, dude.
Is that the award that's basically like the least amount of point penalties with like the most like if you have more points
That plays the like penalty minutes play into it, but like it's described as like exemplifying the best sportsmanship combined with a high level of play. Like Johnny Gaudreau won it a couple years ago. I think
shitty
he's
pick.
won. I think Johnny Gaudreau's won 2 actually, maybe.
Marty
I
St.
know he's got
Louis, I
one.
think one
St. Louis probably won it.
It's-
So yeah, I mean,
Sportsmanship.
if
he's a-
you're putting up like 2 or 4 penalty minutes a game, you're not going to win it. So,
So
that
what you're
plays into
saying
it,
is that
but
if you're above 6 feet, you can't win the award.
Yes.
It's the Ladybug Award then. Nice.
The Ladybug Award.
Oh, dude,
all right,
I
boys,
hope he
well,
wins it this year. Then that's crazy.
Yeah, Patty Marleau, boys are coming, and we're rooting for you out here. Maybe we'll get you on. I know you listen to it. You're always texting me at night saying like, "Oh, I love the episode. You guys are so funny and cool." And I sometimes I take a little bit to respond because I'm busy, but we'll get you on, and enjoy the sunset, fella. It's not over yet. Boys, want to switch gears a little bit and kind of just check up on some teams that, have had a little bit of a sample size with their trade deadline
Yeah.
pickups.
Yeah.
I mean, we already talked about the Bruins a little bit earlier, but
We touched only briefly on the Panthers. Want to go into that?
yeah. So I
Yeah.
mean, Sam Bennett scored that goal, right? Is that the only point he's got with them, or does he have like an apple or something too?
I think
know
that's his-
Montour has a Gino
Montour does have. I was going to ask about Montour.
because, well, I know he scored, but I think they may have given it. It looked like it tipped off Duclair.
Oh, okay.
But either way, shots on net. That's good hockey.
Yeah,
so
that's
he's
an
playing.
apple. That's an apple.
Regardless, it's a primary or a Gino. Two of my favorite things.
Yes, yeah. He assisted that one that tipped off Montour. I just checked, and so I'm looking at. I watched their game on Saturday against the Lightning where they won 5-3, and Bennett had that assist. Nikita Gusev had an assist also on the second goal. Who obviously has been struggling this year. Bennett had another assist in that game. That one was a second assist. And then obviously there was that goal he scored too. But yeah, so I mean, even Gusev is contributing.
Montour did get that.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Gotcha.
Bennett. Oh, I didn't hear that. From Sam Bennett. From Sam.
Yeah.
Did
you say that?
Up. Hello.
I said he assisted the Montour goal, yeah, in that game.
Okay.
Saturday.
I thought
No,
you
good.
misspoke. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place.
Bad.
Yeah, get a cold brew in you.
I know.
I need one.
I didn't go to the gym earlier, so I haven't had any caffeine yet. I'm slow right now.
Take a line or something.
I double scoop my pre. I get like 250 milligrams caffeine in me, and we're ready. We're good to go.
I just I buy a cold brew and I actually just shotgun it right at the bottom.
You just use your key right in the drive-through line and
just kidding. Can I get two cold brews?
You race the chick that's in the window too. You're like, no, this one's for you. We're racing.
You give like the little clank in the. Yeah, dude. I think Panthers are just such a wagon, and man, I'm watching Tampa, and they're getting some like good depth scoring too from like this kid Ross Colton. I think he actually leads the league in goals per 60. So obviously that stat is obviously going to be affected by ice time.
Yeah,
but it's basically he only gets like 10 minutes a night, and he's getting
so
Ginos.
he played for UVM. New England.
No
guy.
way.
And weird stat. They are, I think, 7-1 when Ross Colton scores. He had like, which is, I mean, doesn't obviously directly correlate to him, which maybe part of it's coincidence. But
stats don't lie.
Yeah, but he had, I think he's got 8 or more goals this year, and he hasn't played every game.
I have never heard that name.
I honestly think he's only played like 15 something games.
Yeah, I had like vaguely his name like vaguely rang a bell because I have a buddy that goes to UVM, so he's always like floating his boat, and and so I've vaguely like heard the name when like he's mentioned it before, but I mean, yeah, he's just all of a sudden tearing it up these last couple weeks. So Ross Colton, man, keep an eye on him.
Yeah,
because he's still only 24, 25 maybe. He's not.
I love a good come up story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that division too is just going to be such a barn burner because, like, I think so. In the top 5 teams in the entire NHL, 3 are in that same division: Florida, Tampa, and Carolina.
I'm looking at the playoff, their top 4 playoff tree right now. It's so tight.
Yeah.
So
between Predators, Blackhawks, and
no. I'm talking about the top 3. I'm talking about Carolina, Florida, and Tampa.
Bad, yeah.
I'm gonna talk about Nashville, Dallas later when we talk about hot seat teams because I have one of them.
Oh shit, so do I.
Oh no.
Wait, I feel like we definitely went different ones though.
I think we
just
did.
text each other.
Okay,
just text each other.
No, it'll be a surprise. We'll wait and see.
I will say though, my team is in that same division.
Oh my god.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Is it one of those two teams?
No, it's not one of those two.
Okay.
Teams. You guys probably know. I'm a bring.
So anyway.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got it.
Anyway, I just briefly talking about these 3 teams. Carolina in first place with 63 points. Florida in second, 63. Tampa in third, 62. also respectively 44, 46, 45 games played.
Yeah.
So Carolina's got games in hand on both those guys. The more that I look at it, the more I think Carolina's going to finish first. But Tampa,
They need to
Florida,
push. They need to push. They got to keep
dude,
going. They need
this
to
could
push.
literally go either way.
Yes, both all those teams are so good. And I think Carolina, in my opinion, is the best team in the league right now. But they need to push.
I guess we'll see.
So I don't know if you guys watched any of Riddick's first game with the Leafs where he played, but it was an overtime loss to the Flames this past week. Not sure what day, but earlier on in the game, I don't think it was during the overtime. I think it was during regulation. Riddick had gone to the bench. I think there was like a TV timeout or something, and he was skating back into his net because there was going to be a face-off, and he skated by Johnny Gaudreau, and just like gave him a little shove or whatever. Like I think he was a little pissed off or something, and then Johnny Gaudreau scores the overtime winner on him.
Yeah, that's a tough.
It was
tough
like,
look
let's
for
fucking go.
for Riddick.
Let's go. That just fired me up. I thought that was funny.
I think he lost though because he still had the Flames pads on and it just had no style, dude. He looked like a
Wait, did he actually?
Well,
yeah. Oh,
so
I
didn't even notice that.
The glove and the blocker. I think his pad.
Oh, that's brutal.
Well, no. So I think what they did was they painted where the red was like facing out. So like his pads were blue, but all the side padding was still red.
Because I think there's tape you can use. I know goalies like they obviously cut down on prices and stuff like that because pads are so expensive. There's like tape you can put over it.
Yeah. So I think they just did that, and they obviously like you can't do anything about the side padding, so it was still red.
If I'm a coach or a GM, I'm not letting my goalie get in that net if his sty isn't sick. So
all right, well then you're paying the $400, $500 for his new pads.
No, what I think looks so clean is when
painting them yourself.
When goalies have like just like all white.
Yeah, I do fuck with
I think that's just so like if you're just like so clean.
What do you guys think about like Carey Price's all red set or Fleury's all gold?
I think it goes really well just because it goes well with the colors and like the jerseys. But say if Tuukka went like
all yellow.
I'm gonna fucking
love that.
I don't know. If it was more like a gold,
that.
if it matched well, like an old black.
I don't know, man. I still like white as the base.
Or if
like some trim.
No, man. I'm thinking about this. Like I was thinking the Wild, if their tenny went like all of that like green color, that would look kind of dirty.
You should like draw some mock-ups and send them to them.
I was a kid that used to draw like goalies in their notebook.
I feel like I definitely used to do that. Yeah. Drew like jerseys and stuff.
And it was like the one there just be like with their blocker up like that or like up like that.
Not even at an angle, it's just straight up.
They're just shooting right past their ears. But yeah. So shout out the Sty Gods.
Hey, you had something about Nick Foligno too?
Oh yeah. Sorry, was lost. Yeah, because we were talking about how players have done with their new teams after the trade deadline, and Nick Foligno, I think, is set to play his first game tonight as a Toronto Maple Leaf, which is exciting. I don't know where he's slotted. I think somewhere on the third line. And I don't know if Ben Hutton has played at all either as a defenseman there.
So.
But Foligno should be interesting in that lineup. So
yeah, I'm excited for that. I saw so I believe I saved it, but I saw this post, I think it was last night, where the Leafs now have damn it. I didn't save it. But the Leafs now have 12 guys in their active lineup that either are currently wearing or have worn a letter.
That's crazy.
Which is crazy. I mean, that's got to be the most in the league. It's right here. I did save it. It's
Simmons.
So I mean, they got, for guys that are wearing or have worn the C, they got Tavares, Foligno, Joe Thornton, Jason Spezza. And then guys that have or are wearing the A, Morgan Riley, Jake Muzzin, Matthews, Marner, Hyman, Wayne Simmons, Zach Bogosian, TJ Brody.
Oh yeah.
That's like,
who is he?
Because they it must have been Buffalo, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good.
But yeah, 'cause I saw this post that was saying how like they have like the deepest leadership core in the NHL, and it had
You know
had
what that means, though?
I was like, damn.
That means there is no fun allowed in that locker room. There is not a single thing is out of place. There is no character, nothing fun, no smiles allowed in the locker room.
I would say to a certain extent. I mean, you still
No, 'cause
got like the
I feel
young guys like Nylander
Thornton's
and
a fun
Marner.
guy too. Like, you know,
See,
I've heard
I feel like he's
Thornton's like I've just listened to like interviews of podcasts, and I'm pretty sure he's kind of like not like an ass, not like, but he's like he'll chirp you, and he doesn't give a fuck.
yeah.
See,
He's
I
a
feel
rock
like he's a
guy.
fun guy.
I was trying to make light of the situation. I was trying to like make it funny, but I guess you guys took
Oh,
it
I thought you were
seriously.
dead
I thought you were being
serious.
serious.
I
Though.
thought you
Like,
were
they're
dead
probably like a
serious.
serious
I
locker
was
room.
just kidding. I was
my
just
bad.
kidding.
Yeah, my bad.
I mean, hey, maybe it is a no fun locker room. Who
Maybe that
knows?
was a fun.
Apparently Marner throws Skittles at guys though during intermission.
If
which
he
would make
threw a
me wanna
skittle at me,
kill
I
him.
would throat chop him.
You guys remember when I showed it? That was a while
That
ago.
was a while. That
I
was
think
like
that was
while
in
ago.
I'd be like
when
5.
it was a
maybe.
story from like when he was in juniors. Like he
Yeah.
during intermission he'd like throw Skittles at guys and they were losing, dude. I would
lose my
literally
mind.
beat the bag out of him.
I have a funny story.
Is it funnier than the last one?
Yeah. So going back to my earlier Bantam days, we did like a training camp in August before our season started. So it was like 3 or 4 days where we were on the ice once or twice a day. We did off ice stuff, and some of the junior teams. I played for the junior Monarchs, so some of the like junior U18, U20 teams would like help out with this little program, and there were like 2 junior kids per locker room. And so for our team, for my team, we had two of the sickest guys. They were super fun. I loved them.
Mm-hmm.
But there was one kid on my team who, after like kind of like a frustrating ice time, so one of the junior kids was upset. He took the ice off his skates and threw it at him in the locker room. The kid exploded, screaming at us. He's like, "You guys will never be able to play juniors. You guys suck. You're terrible." And I was sitting there like 13 years old, like I was like crying.
You have like reading comprehension tomorrow.
Yeah.
That young.
I was cramping up because it was probably our second ice sheet of the day, and I just hadn't drank enough water.
You don't need
it was
water.
so funny. That's
Damn.
my fun story.
Well, I like that.
Anyway,
Can I share a story?
yeah, no, go ahead.
Of course.
I just have one. I don't know why it reminded me of that. I think it's because I snapped too. Back in 8th grade, I played for the Bay State Breakers. The captain, how are you?
Gang.
Not really much of an accomplishment, but
Can confirm I have seen the pictures that Vicky has framed of you.
Yes.
With that
yes.
C.
It's about my highest respect I've ever had in my life. And there's this one kid on it who like just absolutely we hated this kid. He's from like town next door. My boy Sammy, who listens to the pod, he'll know this story. He always brings it up. And we're doing like off ice training and like just like the biggest joke of a hockey team ever. It's like so fun though, but like such a joke. My coach is such a pigeon. And so what he does is we have off ice training, like land training, and buys his pizza right after we get done. And I'm like, I feel like that kind of defeated the whole entire purpose. I think that's just a wash now. I'm as worse as I was before. And I got this kid was just like being such a loser. I got so mad. I like grabbed a piece of pepperoni pizza and I was like, hey, his name is Paul. Hey, Paul. Turns around. I slapped this kid with a slice of pizza and he just like starts like crying and everything. And like that was a moment though. I was kind of like, bullying is real. And I don't like being a part of it.
And I'm a part of it.
Yeah, and I'm a part of it.
You had to be the bully to realize it's real.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta, if you live long enough to be the hero, you're gonna turn into the villain. Is that how the quote goes?
If you
are you talking about Pete Weber's quote?
No, that's yeah, that's
he says every sport has a hero and I just happen to be the villain.
And then he says, love me or hate me, you watched.
Yeah.
But what do you know the quote is? It's like live long enough to be
I think you said it right.
If you live long enough to be a hero, you're gonna
wind up a villain.
No,
live
no.
That's definitely right.
If you don't die a hero, you live long enough to be the villain.
Oh, maybe that's
something more along those lines.
I think that makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm fact checking you, but that might be right.
All right.
Yeah.
While
carry on, will we fact check?
Yeah, I was gonna bring up Igor Larianov II.
Yes. Yes.
So Igor Larianov II, the son of the go ahead, Aids.
Um,
I want to see how fucked up.
famous quote by Harvey Dent said that if you don't have the chance to die a hero, oh fuck, wait.
You
Just
give
read it.
Well, because
It's
it's weird.
quote.
It says if you have the chance to die a hero and don't take it, then you will eventually turn into a villain.
It's basically that though.
Okay, you
That's
were
the
yeah, you
that's
were on
the
the right path.
original.
You were on the
That's the
right path.
original quote.
The 2021 translation's a little bit
Okay,
simpler, but
Yeah.
that's what I was trying to say.
yeah.
Wow, that took a long time for one sentence.
Brain cells
Yeah.
are struggling today.
Man. Go. Let's wrap it up, right? You go about Igor.
So I was gonna bring up Igor Larianov II, son of Igor Larianov. He plays in the KHL, I believe, or something. And I'm just realizing this now. I'm looking at this picture of him. He actually wears number 69 on his team.
Let's
He's
go.
fucking like that
So nice.
So anyway,
all day.
the cover quote of this, or the title of it, he said, Larionov said, the NHL should relegate the worst 3 teams to the AHL every year. And now the second I read that, I was like, shut the fuck up. No,
Yeah.
no. And so he's got, I have like a Instagram post of a bunch of screenshots of his tweets up right now where he was trying to like defend himself. And one guy that, answered or responded to his tweet, who I thought, kind of just had the most simple, best argument towards this. He basically just said, so Edmonton finishes second to last and McDavid goes down to the AHL for a year. Not sure that sells the game. I was
Yeah.
like,
God.
yes, thank
Yeah.
you. And so Larionov's defense, he says Juventus, which is a soccer club, got relegated while having 15 stars that are 100 times more famous worldwide than McDavid, which is probably true. But dude, soccer is so different than hockey. They're
Yeah.
not that you
Yeah.
can't compare examples from the
Apples, oranges.
like that. Like,
and
dude,
star
so
level
different.
star level is completely different than skill
Yeah.
level too. Just because I know your name doesn't in a different sport doesn't
Yeah.
mean you're as skilled.
Most people know who
And
Paul Bissonnette is now, and he
and
was a
yeah.
scrub.
and like
Yeah.
also like I know very minimal about professional soccer. A couple of my friends follow it very hard. And I've heard of Juventus. They're like a pretty
Yeah, I've heard
well
of them.
known. It's like it starts with a J, like Juventus. You've probably seen it before.
Yeah,
They're like
yeah,
a
yeah.
very
The Jewel
well known
Rips.
club. So I'm sure they're like a sick team, dude. And they got relegated apparently, I guess. Which like, but dude, like that's like everything's different in a professional soccer league. It's not the same.
I will say though,
So
I'll say one thing, not like defending Igor, but I like where
yeah,
his like head is at because it's such a big problem where like this league needs to be more profitable, well known, and add something that's gonna attract people, investors, fans, an audience. It definitely needs to get bigger, and I like where his head is at. I don't think that was necessarily the answer, but at least he's asking the tough questions. At least he's like actually thinking of different things. I've never heard an idea like that before in the game of hockey, which, and, it's an adaptation from other sports and leagues that are much bigger than the NHL on a worldwide scale. I like where his head's
yeah.
at. I don't think
So
necessarily that idea would work because of that counter argument from the guy you said, but hey,
It-
you're thinking.
It's not a solution, but I think it's a big stepping stone. I
Yeah.
think it's a
Yeah.
thought in the right direction. It's working some kind of because I mean, when we play, think about when we play like a franchise mode in Shell. I know this is kind of a hard comparison, but think about the Burnaby Aces, our AHL team for our franchise mode. We disregard the team.
Yeah.
It's completely forgotten about. And the only team that's thought about is the NHL team that we are focused on.
mhm.
And I think I don't want to say that that's exactly what happens in the NHL, but I would assume that it's pretty close. You're not really thinking
Franchise to franchise, it probably varies.
you're not really thinking about the success of your AHL team. You're trying to make sure your players are developing so that your NHL team can be successful.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not really how you grow the game. Because I live, near Manchester, New Hampshire. For those hockey fans out there who know the Manchester Monarchs, who were the AHL team for the LA Kings for a number of years, they finally moved out west because they weren't getting a big fall. They weren't getting a lot of people at their games here.
Are they
So
the
nobody
Ontario Reign now?
now it's yes, they're the Ontario Reign, and the junior club that was the Ontario Reign came out here and is now part of the East Coast Hockey League. But actually,
Gotcha.
they just got sold too, so they don't play there anymore either.
It's because
But
that
that's
kid threw ice at him.
but that's but that's the thing. It's like there's not really a not to say that there's not a market out here, but it's not as exciting. And I think by trying to rotate teams, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you would, but
He did bring up a good point about like how foreign investors would love to invest in like a place like the San Diego Gulls are the Anaheim's
yeah.
Anaheim's team. I was reading the thread and that was just something he was bringing up. And like, I like his idea of getting investors involved and almost like he made a good point of like that like morale of like obviously we don't know this because this isn't really a North American thing of like getting regulated and going up a division or down a division, how that affects like the fans of that town's team.
Mhm.
I think that's a really cool aspect that like I don't think would work at a national hockey league scale. Maybe juniors, BCHL, ECHL, SP, all those different things, maybe, and maybe we can try it.
And maybe that's what you do. Maybe you try it at one
Yeah.
of those other levels
Get investors.
just to see how it goes.
Yeah.
So I was gonna I kind of just thought of this now. So he was saying, I forget which of these tweets I was looking at when it popped into my head, but like, so he basically was saying, obviously he wants the bottom of the teams in the NHL to drop down to the AHL. Big no. But like you said, his head's in the right place that the NHL/AHL/ECHL also should try to figure out something that can just help grow this game. And I don't know if this would necessarily, like, I don't know. Like I said, I just thought of this now, but maybe you could take the bottom 4 or 5 teams in the NHL each year and not move them down to the AHL is not what I'm saying. They're still in the NHL, and then take the top 4 or 5 teams in the AHL at the end of the season. And even if it's just like after playoffs, whatever, just spend like a week or two and take like those 10 teams and just have them play each other. I'd watch
I'd
for
watch
fun.
it.
I get like there's no like tournament going on. No, it doesn't count towards stands or anything, but just like to see these guys play each other,
Ooh.
that just popped into
Yeah,
my head now. And
I
like,
still
dude,
think,
I'd
though,
watch that after the playoffs ended. Get another week or two of hockey with teams like that. I feel like
That's a
that'd be
really good
pretty
idea.
interesting. I mean, it that wouldn't necessarily expand fan base at all.
But
like,
you're trying to like entice excitement. And when you said that, I was like,
yeah,
really kind of want to watch that.
I would like to watch that. Yeah. So I mean,
I
I
would
don't know.
like it, but at the same time though, like the AHL to the NHL is a big jump, and those players are still
Yeah.
amazing in the NHL. Like, you know,
No,
a
but
lot
that's
of
part of
like
it.
a lot of
Like,
players too that are really good in the AHL but can't quite make it to the NHL and be a regular and stick, go and play to like the KHL. So I feel
yeah.
like there's like a little bit bigger of a gap than really what meets the eye is what you would expect because you think it's only really just a level below, but I feel like it's more.
No, I totally know, and I'm sure the Red Wings would probably crush some of the top AHL teams.
Yeah.
But like at
Be
the
fun to
same time, you
watch.
never
It'd
know,
be fun
dude.
though. It'd be
You never
fun.
know.
Yeah.
Maybe some of those AHL teams will put up some good fights and win games. I mean, and
And
that's what would make me want to watch.
I think
And it gives you a good look at some of the bigger name players in the AHL against NHL talent, at
Huge for
least I don't know.
betting. Huge for betting. I
Yeah.
would
I think
hammer the AHL team.
I think it would be huge for like from a money perspective,
Mhm.
because AHL guys tend to not make over $1 million. They tend to make a 3-figure or
90.
a 6-figure salary. I'm sorry.
Yeah, make 100 a week.
No,
You buy 2
ECHL
cold
players make a
brews, you can.
3-figure salary.
Yeah.
ECHL players get like,
Yeah.
so it's what I learned about the ECHL is how they're paid. They're paid on like a weekly or a monthly basis. So if
Yeah.
they're doing really well, they'll get a couple $100 more than the average player. But if they don't really do well, then they might only get $200-300.
Like I think Gouldy, when he was playing our last interviewee, Matt Gould,
Go
when
peep it.
yeah, go peep it, unreal epi. Go peep Dickies too. We've had 2 interviews, they both went unreal nasty. I think when Gouldy was over playing in the U show, I think he made like 100 or 2 a week.
Yeah.
Something like
But
that.
But yeah, so I think it would be fun to
juniors.
see. It would kind of bring a little bit more revenue into maybe the AHL system. What was my other point? was gonna make another point.
I was
It would make everything more competitive. Because if you're an
yeah.
NHL team, you do not want to lose to an AHL team. And if you're an AHL team, you want to fucking prove yourself. You want to be
Yeah.
like, you know what? I can play at this level. We can
You
do
want
it.
clout.
Yes.
Life is about clout
Life is all about clout and money.
and stacking your paper.
Yes. So
Paper
I think,
chaser.
Brett, I think that's a really, really good idea. Logistically, I guess it could be that one of the NHL teams could also play their AHL team. So there might have to be a little stuff going on there. But overall, I think it's a good idea.
That did cross my mind. Like Ducks finished bottom 5 in the league, and the Goals finished like top in the AHL.
Yeah.
Which
So
I think might be
maybe.
a situation right now. I think the Goals are pretty
Yeah.
nice,
Oh,
so
boy.
like that
Really?
could definitely
Right.
end up happening. But
With
I know
Zegras?
Carolina.
yeah,
Carolina's fucking there. I remember the year that they went to the conference finals. I think the Checkers won that year.
Yeah, they did.
They've always had like a good AHL team. Carolina
Got
guy president.
swept by Boston in the conference final. Not a big deal.
Anyways, asshole. Hot seat teams. Or we got anything else?
I'm good on that. Just
Yeah.
NHL should do something to help grow this, man. And I was thinking the other day, I think the ESPN deal will help expand fan base.
Yeah.
You know, guys who aren't normally into hockey that are watching ESPN might see some stuff, and if they're pumping highlights of McDavid and Matthews, it's going to make people want to watch hockey games. So, yeah.
Time
But-
will tell.
Time will
Yes,
tell.
I'm excited to see how that ESPN deal does. So,
Yeah, I
we'll
can't wait
see.
till we get a deal from ESPN. Can I start with my hot seat team?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, of course.
So
You
I
can throw
think
your
we're-
player in there too if you have one.
All
by the
right.
way. You don't need to,
Um,
but
Alrighty. I think we're all in the same division today.
I think we
I think so.
are.
I am
I'm
picking the
scared,
Carolina
Brett.
Hurricanes.
yeah.
Carolina Hurricanes, they're my team. They're my second team behind Boston. In the spot in my heart. I think they actually have. Well, they have 5 games. Their 5th game will be on the next time we record. So that by the time the next episode comes out, they'll have 5 games. So they're playing Tampa, then Florida twice, back to back, and then Dallas back to back. Dude, I think they're gonna honestly beat Florida twice. No, I think they're gonna beat Florida once, beat Tampa, and then split the series with Dallas because I think Dallas is a dark horse that people tend to underestimate. Um, I think I just need them to make a push. They're gonna need to make a push. They have to win these games against people right in their division, coming for this spot. They need to beat Tampa. They can't let Florida get all 4 points. They cannot let that happen. And then my player, I'm gonna keep it on Carolina too, is Svechnikov. He's been heating up. But yeah, so he's been heating up a little bit lately. I think a lot of things are starting to even click even more now in that squad. And yeah, I think they're the only team left with single digit. Oh no, they're 10. They got 10. Never mind.
Yeah, the Avs are the only team left
Yeah.
with single-digit losses.
They're,
Scary.
they're in the whole entire league though. Is that good? Please let me
That's pretty good, I think.
know. Yeah, let me know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I got, boys.
AIDS, since we might have the same team. I want you to go first, but
Just
I
let it
feel
rain.
like we have
Just
different
let it
ones. You go.
I'm gonna let it rain. I got Dallas. We have the same team?
Yes.
All right.
Fuck.
Well,
Why don't you guys go same team, pick a different player from the same team, and then that'll be the tiebreaker.
Like who puts up more points out of the
Yeah,
players that
yeah.
we picked?
oh, okay. I didn't even think of a player yet. So while you're talking, I'll think of a player.
Well,
But-
I also have a hot seat player that's not on the Stars, but I'll still pick a player for tie breaking reasons.
Okay,
on
okay.
The Stars, yeah.
So I'll think of a player in a second. But I picked Dallas because so looking over my notes right now, because stat guy,
That's Brett.
shut up. I'm stat guy. I'm realizing that all these stats have something to do with the number 3. So Dallas is on a 3-game win streak, right? 3-game win streak. They're hot right now. They are 3 games behind the Nashville Predators for 4th in that division, and they are 3 points back of them.
Jesus Christ.
So they play Detroit 3 times. And obviously they play Carolina because you just mentioned them.
Yeah, they'll split.
but I think playing Detroit, I know we talked about it before. Detroit's been a heartbreaker a little bit. Kind of played better than they look, but those are 3 of the biggest games of your season. Your
Yeah.
3 games back
Yep.
in Nashville, those are your 3. These next 3 games are the
Yeah.
biggest games of your season.
I want to throw a little like stat type thing in there about Dallas too, since
Yep.
I also have them. So, and then we can talk about our players. But, so out of Nashville, Dallas, and Chicago, I'll include Chicago in that mix for fighting for that 4th spot. Out of those 3 teams, schedule remaining in the season. Obviously, Dallas's next 3 aren't very hard with the Red Wings, but I saw on NHL Network yesterday when they were like grading strength of schedule for teams left in the whole league, not this division, in the whole league. Nashville has the 4th hardest left. Chicago has the 8th, and Dallas has the 12th. So out of those 3 teams, Dallas has the easiest schedule left.
Was Bruins one?
As well as having it only showed those 3, as well as having those 2 or 3 games in hand. That's why I think Dallas can pull this off.
Yeah. Hey, I like both those stats you guys threw
Yeah.
out. I think that's all day.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I want to hear your hot seat players. I'm really interested to see who.
Well, I'm gonna say my stars player first for the sake of the
Yeah.
tiebreaker. My hot seat player is different, but my stars player, Rupe Hintz, dibs. 3-point night last night. Actually, no, two. He had a goal and assist, I think.
Primary?
Yes, yeah, because
Well,
Robertson touched the rebound on a Hintz shot.
What about you? If you're sticking with 3, dude, I think I know who your player is.
Oh,
Klingberg.
I know it's Klingberg. I was trying to decide. Honestly, I was going back and forth between Pavelski and Alexiak, but I think I'm going to go Pavelski.
not
Playoff guy.
little Robertson.
That was who I
hot.
was expecting you guys to
Okay.
do. I think he's
Okay.
had the most
No,
points from rookie since March 1st with 27
has.
points.
He has.
by a lot.
Yeah.
And he's averaging the same number of points per game as Kirill, which leads me into my hot seat team. So I picked Hintz for this tiebreaker. You picked. Wait,
I'm gonna go
Hintz?
Pavelski. I'm gonna go Pavelski.
Okay, so we got Pavelski versus Hintz, but leading into my hot seat player, Kirill Kaprizov. He was he was pretty much a no-brainer for the Calder Trophy. First half of the year, and like you said, since March 1st, Robertson has, I think, 27 points, and Kirill is out of rookies. Kirill is second with
19.
Like,
Wow.
so
Yeah.
a lot less.
Yeah.
And like I said, they both average, I think it was 0.84 points per game, and Kirill and Robertson. So Robertson's right there, man, for that.
Kirill's been doing it, though. Kirill's been doing it.
Yeah, no, I
He's gonna have
I
to
just
pass
want
him
to
in
see
points.
in this last stretch of 11 or 12 games, however many the Wild have, I want to see that first 2 weeks of the season Kirill that we saw.
Yeah.
Just beast mode Kirill.
Vexing on him.
Yeah. So
Nice.
Kirill's my hot seat. Just finish strong going into playoffs. And
I like this division though, boys. I think this is probably, I would say, my favorite division to watch.
Which is weird because before we touted that this was the worst division or one of the worst. I think the Western
Yeah.
Division is
Well,
worse.
Florida came out of nowhere, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we thought they would be this good.
I
It's
didn't
just-
think I didn't think Chicago would be good at all.
it's very
without
top
Taves
heavy.
and Doc.
It's a
Yeah.
top heavy
I thought
division.
Dallas would be better.
I didn't
Yeah.
think Nashville would be putting up a fight here. I mean,
I had them in my 4th. I'm looking good in this division right
Ooh.
now. Yeah, I had them in my
Who
4th.
who did you have in your
he
fourth?
had Nashville.
Nashville.
I had Nashville dead last.
Carolina, Tampa, Nashville, and I had Dallas in there. I didn't get the memo that they were going to go brain dead for the entire year and then turn it up now.
As it sits right now, I don't have the correct order, but I have all 4 correct teams.
See,
Ah.
I thought what I just did was I thought we were just picking our winner, and it didn't really matter the order from there as long as you got them in your.
No,
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter
we
the order.
were, but I just for fun still ranked all 8
Gotcha,
or
Yeah.
7, whatever it is.
Yeah, gotcha. Alrighty, boys. Episode 17. What a gong show.
Also, That was fucking.
Yeah, sorry for killing a lot of brain cells, everyone.
I apologize to anybody
Yeah.
that listens to this. First of all, listens to it this far through.
Yeah.
But just if you get through that first 10 minutes of just brain dead
Mm.
nonsense,
Yeah.
tends to get a little bit better, but I'm sorry you have to suffer
And
through
if you
that.
like that though, like let us know. Or if you hate it, tell us and we'll just try not to be so cool. It's really hard for us not to be
We can just like sing for
cool.
the first 10 minutes or something.
You want to
I
just
don't know.
sing
I got
next
high
time?
notes.
So
I got
yeah,
high
so in
notes
the
on
comments
today.
below, drop your song requests for us to
Yeah.
sing karaoke to.
Oh,
Yeah.
yo.
I've actually been told that I am the I'm like I don't know.
Vomit on
I'm
a
like the
sweater
I'm
already.
like the John
Mom's
Bon
spaghetti.
Jovi. I'm like the John Bon Jovi of podcasting. I'm also the
Word?
Spike Lee of podcasting.
Okay.
I disagree, but all right.
Yeah, you gotta be there.
I
If
guess
you knew
so.
if you knew you would know. But everybody, also want to say too, thank you for just like all the new listeners, all the new people following the Instagram. Road to 500 starts now. We just hit 400 followers, so that's another big
We're already at
milestone.
like 430 something.
Yeah, so the boys are buzzing. Thanks for following. Check out the YouTube too. We got a lot of big content pieces planned for the summer that we're working on currently. I think those are going to be great. Toss them up on YouTube. Obviously, plug them everywhere. But until then, and until next week,
Like, comment, subscribe.
like smash that
Smash
like button.
that
Yo,
like
smash
button.
that like button. Hit the subscribe.
All right, before we lose all of our listeners, peace, everyone. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the weather. Wear a mask. Maybe get vaccinated. Who knows? Get a cold brew too. All right, peace.